Hi, Todd here from Urban Sound Studio. Softube just released the Weiss Complete Collection 2, and with it comes a brand new product, which is the Weiss Exciter. It's a collaboration between Weiss Engineering and Softube. My question today is, in 2025, does a premium mastering grade gold standard plugin collection, and let's admit, comes at a premium price, is that product still worth it in 2025? Well, let's start by taking a look at what products are included, and then I want to share with you some of my ideas about the strengths of each product. And then it's up to you to decide. Let's dive on in. First up are the DS1 and the EQ1, the flagship Weiss hardware units that are the gold standard in mastering. They cost close to $10,000 per unit, and these are a one-to-one code port with the original hardware. The Compressor Limiter takes that processing from the DS1 and puts it in an easier-to-navigate workflow in a modern layout. The DS gives you two bands of de-essing pulled from the DS1's processing, but with a more flexible workflow tailored only toward de-essing. The MM-1 also takes its processing from the DS1, but is super simple to use. You could think of it as 5 quick presets to achieve a mastered sound in seconds. The EQMP gives you the Weiss sound, but in a minimum phase EQ with extremely low latency that could be used on tracks within a mix session. The new Weiss Exciter gives you excitation without the artifacts that you hear in a traditional exciter. It is transparent in the sense that you almost don't hear the effect until you turn it off. It just makes everything sound more detailed with a ton of control. And for Console 1 users, the Weiss Gambit series channel strip gives you a combination of shape, EQ, compression, and output limiter that is perfect for mastering on Console 1 or having super clean control of your tracks while mixing. I want to start with the MM-1 because for me, even though it's the least expensive of the units in the collection, it's the one I use the most. Every single pre-mastered delivery to a client uses the MM-1 since we know they want it loud. I can pop it on a track, set the proper amount of headroom I want. I usually put it at -1 dBFS. And then I pick the style and crank up the amount. For rock and heavier music, I'll usually go with loud. But if it's a backing track for a vocalist or an orchestral piece, I might use the wider transparent setting. The new Exciter blows me away. It allows me to bring out detail that otherwise would be buried, and it does it in a way that you cannot do with an EQ. And you don't need to hear the distortion from the added harmonic content. Figure out the area you want to enhance. You set your harmonics and wet dry of the exciter amount. You could even widen the width of the additional harmonics. Then use your output filter at the bottom to keep everything under control. If you don't hear a difference, listen bypassed and then engaged. The workflow of the Compressor Limiter is just much easier for me to understand than the flagship DS1. And just like the DS1 plugin, it includes the original Weiss limiter, but also 2 additional limiters for complete control over your mastering. Most of the time, slight transparent compression, followed by parallel mixing, and then slight limiting does the job. Just make sure to set your output level for peak headroom. When it comes to the EQ1 versus the EQMP, they're a little bit more different than the DS1 versus the Comp Limiter. The EQMP has me covered for that fully parametric EQ workflow, with the highest fidelity possible. It also gives me great visualizations and the ability to hone in on resonances or other problem areas. It's my go-to on classical music, but it's also great for any vocal that needs transparent EQ. However, the EQ1 offers a linear phase mode, which gives you a different result in terms of phase relations, especially when working with detailed transients. Due to having this mode available, it means the EQ1 also allows for dynamic EQ bands, which is great to deal with control of specific frequencies in either the low end or almost use it as a custom tailored de-esser. And an advanced mode allows you to get into the most specific details of the dynamic EQ. While a large screen mode allows you to see a close-up of the EQ curve.
Die Rose, die Lilie, die Taube, die Sonne, die liebt dich einst alle in Liebeswonne.
Speaking of de-essers, up last is the Weiss de-esser. And while it's last, I'll tell you that more professional engineers tell me that this is their go-to out of the entire collection. To me, it's the most transparent de-esser on the market. And the dual bands give you complete independent control to tackle a specific range for the onset of an S sound, while the top band gives you a broad control to keep the entire top end of a track super smooth. Thanks for watching. So what do you think? Are you using any Weiss products in your workflow? If so, which ones? And if you're not using the Weiss products, what are you using in place of them? Leave some comments in the chat below. And as always, please help support this channel by liking the video and hitting subscribe.